sabi ko kay Sane, but also from the ground, yung feedback, yung ayuda niya na 200, sabi ko rin sa kanya talaga, it's too small sa isang buwan. Kaya sabi ko, hanap ko ng pera saan, nagbubulong kami. Kung masyadong mababa yan, cannot sustain a family of 3, even 4, 5, yung sa baba, pinakamaraming anak. They are the productive Filipinos for tomorrow, pag hindi ngayon. So sabi ko kay Sane, it will be a uphill battle for the next generation kung gawain natin ng 500. Sabi ko sa kanya, bahala ng presidente niya saan siya magnakaw. Basta ibigay natin yung 500. So I hope that this would go a long way really to help. Huwag lang sayangin sa isabong, pati itong isabong ganito yan. Matagal na nag-apply yan, almost 2 years. Wala pang pandemic. Nung pandemic na, lahat na pag makwartahan ko, pag saan ko magnakaw, sabi ko, isabong gives us about 640 million a month. Sabi ko, at a year's end, it is billion. Galing ako sa ground dito, sa lalo na sa crime and criminality. Tingin ko hindi kasalanan ng management. Or yung management at least identified it. Pero kung tanggalin ko kasi yung hinayang ako, karami kong gasto.
After 11 straight weeks of oil price hikes, several oil companies are implementing rollbacks starting today. Since Bongbong Marcos has been skipping debates attended by all his fellow presidential candidates, Senator Manny Pacquiao challenges him to a one-on-one debate. But it's not just Pacquiao who has something to say about Marcos Jr. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno slams BBM for his earlier statement regarding corruption. Despite multiple studies saying BBM benefits the most from fake news among presidential aspirants, Marcos Jr. claims he's a victim too. And 2 presidential candidates will be campaigning today in the same province. That's Vice President Leni Robredo and Senator Ping Lacson. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. An oil price rollback finally took effect this morning, breaking the 11-week streak of rising pump prices. Gasoline prices went down by 5 pesos and 45 centavos per liter. That brings the net price adjustment for gasoline this year at an increase of 14 pesos and 90 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, per liter diesel prices decreased by 11 pesos and 45 centavos, amounting to a year-to-date net increase of 19 pesos and 35 centavos. The question is, are these rollbacks enough for drivers of public utility vehicles who have been battered by sky-high prices since the start of the year? To give us the latest on the ground, we now have Justine Punsalang reporting live from Manila. Good morning, Justine. What do you have for us?
Charles, indeed, today's big-time oil price rollback broke the 11-week streak of price increases. However, GP drivers are saying that this is not enough. 5 pesos and 45 centavos has been deducted from the per liter price of gasoline, while a whopping 11.45 is slashed from diesel prices. For gas stations that carry kerosene, they cut the per liter price by 8 pesos and 55 centavos. This means in this gasoline station in Manila, diesel now costs between 63 pesos and 30 centavos to 65 pesos and 30 centavos per liter. Gasoline at 71 pesos and 15 centavos to 71 pesos and 90 centavos, and kerosene is at 67 pesos and 64 centavos. While this is already a big relief to jeepney drivers, they say it is still not enough. Diesel prices, they say, should return to around 50 pesos so that they'll have enough money or enough take-home pay for the family. Drivers are also looking forward to the promised 6,500 peso gas subsidy, as this will lessen their worries for at least several days. Other drivers, however, are worried, saying that they did not receive the first subsidy allotted by the government during the height of the pandemic. However, some drivers have decided to completely stop hitting the road. One driver we talked to said he had to stop driving his jeepney because his operator is asking for a high boundary fee. And given the high prices of diesel, he said he felt like he's just wasting his time and energy because at the end of the day, his take-home pay is still too small. Sadly, this driver now decided to just beg for money along Rizal Avenue. Charles, since 6 in the morning when the rollback was implemented, vehicles, not only jeepneys but also private vehicles, have been coming to this gas station in Manila. It seems that drivers are making the most out of lowered fuel prices. Charles?
Thanks for that, Justine. That was Justine Punsalang reporting live from Manila. Senator Manny Pacquiao challenges former Senator Bongbong Marcos to a one-on-one debate. Pacquiao says Marcos Jr. may consider this proposal, as BBM may have been afraid of facing all the other presidential candidates in one event. Pacquiao also hit back at Marcos' statement that all other presidential candidates seem to not have clear platforms. And according to Pacquiao, he made clear his platform in the past debates. And if Marcos wants to do the same, he should also participate in these events.
Pag-usapan natin yung saan galing ill-gotten wealth, anong nagawa niya sa pagsiservisyo niya sa gobyerno, may nagawa ba siya? Pag-usapan natin yung issue niya sa taxes. Pag-usapan natin yung involvement niya kay, tama pala kay na pulis.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno also slammed Marcos for saying that corruption is a human condition. Moreno says that although the world and the government are not perfect, leaders should not just accept that there's nothing that can be done to address corruption.
Pwedeng siya magsimula ng magandang gawain sa ating bayan. So, katulad ng halimbawa, yung batas na ipinairal sa isang regular na pamilya na kapag nagmana yung anak, kinukuha ng gobyerno yung buwis na marapat sa gobyerno at tao. Ako naman, ang payo ko lang, siyempre, kung tayo'y maglilingkod, kung ako sa kanya, siya na manguna, na i-surrender na lang nila yung marapat sa bansa para magamit natin itong ayuda.
Though Vice President Leni Robredo is still a far second in presidential surveys, on-the-ground support for her campaign rallies has been massive. On Sunday alone, her camp claims that more than 137,000 attended their People's Rally in Pasig City. Gerardo De La Peña with the story.
The elections has always been a battle of numbers, but it takes on a different form this 2022. For Vice President Leni Robredo, who has been trailing frontrunner Ferdinand Marcos Jr. by a wide margin in surveys, the crowd attendance in her rallies from city to city has been sparking hope for supporters known as kakampings. Just this Sunday, her campaign tallied a record high as they reported that 137,000 were in attendance at their Pasig sortie.
Marami pa din ang hindi natin kasama. Gusto po natin sa kanilang sabihin, welcome na welcome po kayo dito. Sana makita nila, masaya dito. Punong-puno ng pag-asa dito. Wala po akong duda, nakakahatak ng pag-asa ang pag-asa.
And to show just how massive the support is on the ground, they're going up in the air. Drone shots have been the team's main weapon of choice. The unity team of Marcos Jr. and Sara Duterte are also now riding on this trend. During their weekend rally in Marikina, drones were used to show thousands in attendance during their rally at the Marikina City Amphitheater. Here, Marcos Jr. faced supporters in a town hall meeting instead of attending Comelec's presidential debate.
Yung aking mga katunggali, ayan, magsisigawan na naman at magmumurahan na naman. Palagay ko mas mahalaga na makapag-usap ako yung tunay na tao, hindi yung kandidato lamang. Kaya ginawa namin itong town hall meeting para kung ano ang inyong...
The team did not release an official crowd count. The last time they did was during a sortie in Las Piñas, where senatorial candidate Mark Villar claimed that 500,000 attended their events, which the Las Piñas police later on denied. While Robredo and Marcos Jr. had thousands of supporters on the ground during their sorties, attendance in some of the events of the other presidentiables have been more lukewarm, mirroring survey numbers where they have a long way to go to catch up to the two frontrunners. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Former Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr. sits down with Cheryl Cosim in One News, TV5, and Go Negocios Candidate Talks presidential series. There he talks about his economic plans for the Philippines and his claim that he is a victim of fake news. Cheryl Cosim tells us more.
Helping bolster economic recovery will be one of the main tasks that the next president will have to face. To do that, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says he'll focus on MSMEs, particularly providing tax amnesty to those businesses affected by the health crisis.
Pagka gusto natin silang pahunin ulit, sabihin natin, wag muna tayong magkolekta ng buwis hanggang medyo makaahon sila.
During One News Candidatox Forum, he also said that instead of lockdowns, he'll make a continuous push for vaccination in a program he calls Jabs to Jobs.
Talagang pursige tayo sa vaccine. At nakikita naman natin talagang magandang naging epekto mula nung nagsimula ang vaccine rollout.
But when it comes to economic recovery, it matters that the business and investment community trusts a country's leader. That's going to be a tall task for Marcos Jr. In a Bloomberg's latest markets poll, Philippine investors are lukewarm to the prospect of Marcos as president. In fact, Marcos Jr. was at the bottom of the poll alongside Senator Manny Pacquiao. While investors are more optimistic under the leadership of Vice President Leni Robredo, Marcos had this to say.
Well, we'll just have to prove them wrong if we get the opportunity. And we will.
While he's at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to investment sentiment, studies have shown that he benefits most from fake news, while Robredo has been the main target of disinformation. But Marcos says it's actually the other way around.
Kami, biktima kami dyan eh. At maraming fina-fact check ako na sinasabi, hindi totoo yung sinabi ko. Wala naman akong sinabing ganun. Pero fake news daw yung sinabi ko.
With the elections just less than 2 months to go, President Duterte has given hints on who to support, but has yet to outright give his endorsement. Marcos Jr. says even he is unsure whether he will get Duterte's backing.
Basta't kami ni Pangulong Duterte, kung ano yung napag-usapan namin, yun ang pinag-usapan namin. Alam mo naman si PRRD, ang galing niyang magbitaw ng paputok na nun eh.
Cheryl Cosim, we are One News.
Nearly 2 months since the official campaign season started, 2 presidential bets are scheduled to visit the same province today. Vice President Leni Robredo is expected to arrive earlier in San Jose City in Nueva Ecija. VP Leni will first join the Assembly of the Clergy before attending the multi-sectoral assembly at the Pag-asa Sports Complex. Robredo will be ending her visit with another people's rally in Cabanatuan City. Senator Ping Lacson will also be in Nueva Ecija today, and Lacson will first attend a courtesy call with Gapan City Mayor Eming Pascual at 11 a.m. He will then also travel to Cabanatuan City, where he'll be holding a dialogue with several groups, including businesses, women, and barangay leaders. Meanwhile, former Senator Bongbong Marcos will be in Cavite, and he's expected to first attend mini rallies in Barangay San Juan and Barangay Paliparan 3 in Dasmariñas. Then he's scheduled to meet supporters, along with former Representative Gilbert Remulla. By 5 p.m., the presidential frontrunner will be joining a Uniteam Grand Rally in General Trias. On the other hand, Mayor Isko Moreno is finally returning to the city of Manila. Moreno will be holding a media briefing at 1 p.m. at his campaign headquarters in Intramuros. And Team Isko campaign strategist Lito Banayo, Aksyon Demokratiko chairperson Ernest Ramel, and volunteer groups head Tim Orbos are expected to join him today. Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The COMELEC will be simulating Election Day in today's demo. The Philippine Army is celebrating their 125th founding anniversary today. And the top-performing LGUs in the government's COVID-19 vaccination drive will be recognized this morning. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.